We use their app every day. We trust them with our salary. But do you actually know where FNB comes from? Because the story is wilder than you think. Welcome to Oxcred, where we break down South African financial history and money in a way that actually makes sense. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe. We drop content like this every week. It is 1838. The Cape Colony is a financial disaster. British settlers are flooding in, the slave trade has just been abolished, farmers are furious, merchants cannot trust each other, and there's no reliable institution to move or hold money. So a group of merchants in Grahamstown does something bold. They pool their capital, sign the papers, and launch the Eastern Province Bank, created specifically to finance the wool export boom sweeping the Eastern Cape. That small institution is the direct ancestor of the bank you log into on your phone today, making FNB not just one of the big four, but the oldest bank in South Africa, 187 years in counting. Now, here is where it gets interesting from a financial perspective. The 1800s destroyed banks. Recessions swept through the colony like wildfire. The Eastern Province Bank itself got bought out in 1874 when a recession hit. The new owner, the Oriental Bank Corporation, then collapsed due to financial trouble in India and had to exit South Africa entirely. One institution absorbing another. Bad debt, crisis, rebrand, repeat. Meanwhile, gold was discovered in the Witwatersrand in 1886. Capital flooded in overnight. The country desperately needed banking infrastructure, and the institutions that survived the colonial chaos were perfectly positioned to profit. By 1914, after absorbing multiple failed competitors, the National Bank had grown into one of the largest financial institutions in the country, with nearly 500 branches across South Africa. But even that was not enough to survive the economic collapse of the early 1920s. A forced merger with two other banks created Barclays Bank, the first truly global banking institution to operate in South Africa. In 1986, apartheid sanctions are squeezing South Africa internationally. The pressure becomes too much, and Barclays is forced to sell its South African stake entirely. The bank rebrands, First National Bank of Southern Africa, wholly South African-owned for the first time. Then, in 1998, comes the move that shapes everything. Rand Merchant Bank, Anglo-American Financial Interests, and FNB merge to form First Rand Limited, one of the largest financial groups on the African continent. FNB becomes the retail arm, and from that foundation, something nobody expected started to happen. While every other legacy bank was holding on to branches and paperwork, FNB bet on digital. Hard. E-wallet launched, and suddenly people without formal bank accounts could receive money on a basic cell phone. The FNB app started winning global banking awards. Today, it has over 10 million active users and holds around 30% of South Africa's entire mobile banking market. From a wool-traded lender in Grahamstown to a digital banking powerhouse, one institution, one unbroken bloodline, 187 years. That is the financial history of FNB, and that's exactly the kind of content we break down every single week here on Oxcred. If you found this valuable, subscribe right now. Share it with someone who banks with FNB and has no idea where it came from. I'm Ryan, and I will see you in the next one.